Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackGear.com, and today I'm going to show you how to clean your street bike with water, right? This would be used for a motorcycle that has been ridden on the street. Maybe you've ridden in some rain, you got a lot of road grime on it, and the cleanup that we did on the R1 with a waterless method just isn't going to get the job done. Okay, so as you can see, the bike's already clean, right? We did that part first, so that way what I'm sharing with you here, this is firsthand knowledge. Let's talk about the process that I used and the products. The first thing I did was I cleaned the chain. I used the Maxima chain care kit that includes their crystal clear synthetic chain guard. Because remember, I want that translucent finish. I want to see the chain. We've got a cool driven chain and sprocket kit on this bike, and I want to kind of highlight that. I want it lubed properly, but I want it really clean. So we used this kit. To start off with, we used the chain cleanup and the Tyrox 360 chain clean brush. This thing works amazing. I highly recommend this. You can clearly see the end result is really, really good. You spray the cleanup on the chain, let it soak a little bit, then I would put the brush on, begin to brush, I would hit it again with some more chain cleanup. I also take off the counter shaft sprocket cover. That's nasty behind there, for sure. It is nasty. So I want to take that off. I want to clean inside the cover, any of the gunk around the counter shaft sprocket. That's often overlooked when people do chain maintenance. Once I have that clean, okay, and you don't want to let the chain cleanup sit on the chain forever. Once I have that clean, we're going to go to the second part of the Maxima chain care kit, which is their MPPL. This is their multi-purpose penetrant lube. Think of it as WD-40, but even better. We spray that on the chain liberally, okay? And basically that's gonna lubricate it and rinse off that chain cleanup all in one shot. From there, I wiped off the excess. Go ahead and put your counter shaft sprocket cover back on. I did coat the inside of it and clean the outside of it with some of the Maxima SC1. We'll show you that in a minute. That provides a non-stick coating, basically. So the next time we go to clean it, the stuff doesn't really stick to it, and it makes cleaning much easier. Now that I have the chain to the point where it's ready to be lubed, I'm gonna stop, right? We're gonna take a time out, and now we're going to go out and wash the bike. Okay, to wash the bike, we took it down to the other end of the warehouse where we have a garden hose, right? And we used Maxima's Biowash. It's a biodegradable bike wash formula. We started off by rinsing the entire bike with the hose just to get the heavy stuff off. And then we sprayed this on very liberally all over the motorcycle, okay, and let it soak for a minute or so. There were a few areas on the bike that were just, they needed to be scrubbed. So we have this CycleCare Wheel Brush that we got. This thing really affordable. What's good about this is it allows you to get in some of the nooks and crannies, right? Like for that front wheel, look, we're able to get in between there, right? Easily through the spokes. The wheels are one of the key areas. You get them clean, it looks great. This is a cheap little brush. We've got it on the site. It makes doing that easier. So we'd spray some more of this on there, obviously, and scrub. Once we were done with that, you don't want to let this product dry on the bike either, so I always made sure to keep it wet. Once we're done scrubbing the bike, we've got it all washed up, we give it a good, thorough rinse, and then we rolled it back down to the shop. The key with this is, this product, do not spray it all over the bike if the bike is smoking hot. You want the bike cooled off, so the motor should be cold, right? Not a bunch of direct sunlight before, all that good stuff. Definitely do not let it dry on the motorcycle. That's best practice with any cleaning product. Okay, we rolled it back down to the shop, and now drying the bike off. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it, right? You could towel dry the bike. I've seen people use a leaf blower. You could use a blowgun. There's a lot of different things you can do. We thought we'd highlight this Air Force Blaster Sidekick. This is a portable bike dryer, plugs into 110. This not only blows out air, right, kind of compressed under force, but it also heats it to 30 degrees above ambient air temperature. So whatever's being drawn in it, it's gonna come out the other side about 30 degrees hotter. That's Fahrenheit, of course. It's also filtered, right? You use a leaf blower, nothing's filtered. You're basically blowing dirt all over your clean bike. So leaf blower is probably not the best option out there. This is cool. It allows you to get into areas like the wheels and behind the fairings and the engine, and just all those areas where the water wants to sit, you can blow it right off. This is a little bit of an investment. We've got it on the site. You can use it in a lot of different places, and the quality of it is solid. This is one that we've had for a couple of years. Things performs flawlessly, no problem. So it helped to kind of get this end result. I spent probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes drying the bike off really well, and then we brought it back into the shop, put it up onto the work table to finish cleaning the bike, and then of course use the finishing sprays on it to get this awesome end result. Okay, the Biowash did a good job, but it didn't get off all of the grime. There's gonna be areas where, you know what, it's just too heavy for that to clean off. It's not a very strong degreaser. If it were, you wouldn't be able to spray it all over the plastics and the painted parts of the bike. So that's where these two products come into play. This is their electrical contact cleaner and their suspension clean. When you look at these two, I want you to almost ignore the name. The electrical contact cleaner, nice citrus scent. It degreases very well. It will displace water. You can use this to clean brakes. You can use this to clean the wheels. I'll use a little toothbrush and kind of scrub in areas that need to be scrubbed. This is strong. It's not as strong as traditional brake clean. It evaporates completely, not as fast as suspension clean, and a lot slower than traditional brake clean. So I want you to think of this as kind of your heavier degreaser, but it's safe enough that I've been able to use it on most surfaces on the bike. What I would do is, after I use this, if I thought the area was sensitive at all, I would chase it with some of the suspension clean, because this is definitely gentler than the contact cleaner. This stuff, I'll tell you right now, we took the bike to the track. My son Max rode it for his first 2 track days with Sportbike track time, you know, in 2017. It was amazing, by the way. But my buddy Dave helped me prep the bike. He put duct tape over the taillight lens, the headlight lenses, right over the lenses. And as we all know, when you do that and you pull the duct tape, you're gonna have residue, and that residue is always a pain in the shorts to get off the bike. This stuff was gentle enough and effective enough that I sprayed this on a paper towel and I was able to wipe that residue right off the lenses. It didn't fog or damage the lenses. What I will tell you that I did do, just to kind of hedge my bet, is I'd come right behind this stuff with some of their detail sprays, which we're going to talk about more at length here in a minute, but I would come behind that with the SC1, spray some on a rag and wipe off, just to ensure. You know, anytime with a cleaner like that, if you're unsure of the area but it's greasy and you need to clean it, make sure you come behind it and basically rinse and or clean it off. These two cleaners, they don't have a strong chemical smell, and they are very effective at cleaning and degreasing areas on your bike. I highly recommend those to anyone that wants to keep their motorcycle clean. All right, now we're going to talk about the important part, because once you get the bike washed, you get it clean, it's the finishing sprays that really make the difference. And we've got 2 from Maxima. They're similar, but they're very different at the same time. And in my personal opinion, you really need both to get that excellent end result. We're going to start off with their SC1. This is a high gloss coating. This works great on areas like the matte plastics, right? I like to use it on the wheels. This is going to work as not only a polish, right? A finishing spray, but it can also be an in-between cleaner. Both the Speed Wax and the SC1 have the ability to do that. If your bike's not really dirty enough to where it needs to be cleaned with a hose and the Biowash, you can use this in a rag and then finish it with a nice microfiber towel to get that in-between look and get it cleaned up really nice and really quickly. What's cool about this is that it leaves that non-stick finish, right? It's fairly slippery. I like to use this in areas, you know, bottom half of the bike. The wheels, for sure. This is going to help prevent things from sticking to the rims, which is awesome because it makes them a lot easier to clean down the road. Inside the swing arm, the undertail, another great place to use that. I used it here on the frame of the bike. The matte plastics, the fork tubes, it's going to help prevent the bugs from sticking to it. So that's what's good about that. But like I said, it is a little slippery. So for the upper areas of the bike, you want to work with something that's going to leave a coating behind and a finish that is not as slippery. Side note, if you clean something like your windscreen with this, which you could do, it's safe on all surfaces, odds are it's going to leave streaks. You don't want that on the top half of the bike. So that's where the Speed Wax comes into play. This you're able to use on the top half of the bike, the painted areas, the windscreen, the gauge cluster, spray some on a rag, wipe it on, wipe most of it off, then of course you're going to finish the whole bike with a nice clean microfiber towel. But the finish this leaves is far less slippery, okay? And what you don't want to have, especially for a track bike or even a street bike, you don't want to get the thing so slick that the areas where you're counting on there to be a little grip, like for your legs if you're hanging off, if you're laying on the tank, your chest if you're hanging off in a corner, you don't want it to slide out from under you, okay? This is more effective there. This also can be used as an in-between cleaner. Did a great job on the windscreen, the gauge cluster. To finish these properly, I was applying with like blue shop towels. That's what I used for the majority of the application process. And then I've got their Maxima microfiber towels, the 3-pack. They're like $5 or $6. They're super cheap. They worked really well. This is what you want to finish removing the product and just get that shine done and dialed in on the bike with. There's other brands of microfiber towels. If you already have one, just go ahead and use that. But you really need that for that last step to get the bike to look amazing. Okay, once we've got the bike clean, the last thing that we need to do now is we're gonna go ahead and lube the chain. I kind of leave that for last. Got some cardboard around here that I cut. I like to throw that in there. It just helps to make sure that I'm not gonna get chain lube all over the tire. That obviously would not be a positive outcome. Get your kickstand out of the way. I put some of the old rags that I used to clean the bike because they were garbage underneath the swing arm, so any of the chain lube excess would just drip. What I like to do is spray it on and apply, and then I've got a cloth rag that I will remove excess with. The best way to do this to make sure that you get the entire chain is, let's go ahead and let's find our master link. Right there, there is that rivet master link. That's the start point. That way you know when it comes back around, that is the point where you finish. There's two options here for the chain lube. I gravitate towards their chain guard. Gives that crystal clear finish, synthetic, protects very well, lubricates well, but I mean, look at the finish, right? With a gold chain and that red driven sprocket. I want that. And most of us with sport bikes, if you have a cool gold, black, or colored chain on there, that's the kind of finish that you want. With that said, the maintenance interval of this is gonna be, you're gonna need to do it a little bit more often than you would with their Maxima chain wax. Okay, this is gonna leave that paraffin wax coating, that white waxy coating. It's more durable, right? It's gonna stand longer, you'll have to apply it less, but you do get that white finish, and not everybody's down for that, right? If you're keeping your bike this clean, odds are you want your chain to look that good. So the choice you make here, it's gonna be all about what type of rider you are. If it's gonna be more about, man, I don't want those repetitive maintenance intervals, I just need it to be on there, last a long time, because I do a ton of miles, the chain wax, that's gonna be the one for you. If you got a kick-ass chain and sprocket kit and you wanna be able to see that, kind of showcase that, because it does look pretty bitchin', you're gonna wanna use the synthetic chain guard, that crystal clear stuff from Maxima. It does a fantastic job, as you can clearly see. These things are not expensive. All these cans, they're really big and they're gonna last a long time. So you invest in this, you take care of it. You know, this cleanup kit here, you're gonna be able to use this over and over and over again. The things that I found for me that I would go through the fastest, and it's because on the first bike that I worked on, the R1, that thing was really dirty, so I did a lot of heavy degreasing, right? Especially in the front with the brakes and all the brake dust from being on the track. You know, I went through the suspension clean a little faster. But these two, I've used these now on 2 bikes, and both the cans still have a ton of weight left to them. No problem. The chain clean, same way. MPPL, same way. This massive can of chain lube, that's gonna last several seasons, so you're gonna be able to ride that out. And I'll tell you this, you need to know this. The first time you spray this SC1, you find out how amazing it smells. You're gonna know why they made an air freshener that smells just like it. If you're gonna buy all this stuff, you may as well throw this in the cart too. Throw it in your gear bags and make everything smell great. Put it in your car, put it in your office, put it in your pocket, do whatever you want. It smells great and you're gonna love it. So, there you have it. There is our bike clean series. I showed you how to do it without water, and I showed you how to do it with water. And there's other brands, other companies, other chemicals. I chose Maxima because number one, they're made in America. I think that's pretty bitchin'. And they had a complete line. They had everything it took for me to clean my bikes up, so I didn't have to go from this brand to that brand. Awesome stuff. I really dig it. There's a lot of other ways you can use these products. The degreasers, tons of uses if you own a motorcycle. This is WD-40. You can use it all over your house. You're doing things like tire changes. Spray a little bit of this on your axle, right? Just a little coating. Use it to push the axle right through. This SC1, they bill it as new bike in a can. Yeah, I mean, you spray this stuff on a rag and start wiping it on your bike, everything looks good. You know, I cleaned the engine covers, the frame rails, my Spiegler brake lines, I wiped down with that. It not only gives it that nice finish and shine, but it's also going to help prevent things from sticking to it in the future, which just make your cleanup projects even easier. This Tyrox 360 chain brush, I can't say enough about this. You want a result like this, you're not getting that with a grunge brush, baby. It's just not going to happen. This is a great product. It's like 12 bucks. I cleaned these 2 bikes with it, and you can see this thing looks absolutely perfect, right? You get it kind of threaded on there. You'll fumble with that just a little bit until you get it over, but that's not a big deal. Once you get it on, the thing works amazing, lasts long. The microfiber towels are important. We added these cloth rags to the site for you too. It's just a whatever performance tool brand, whatever it is. It's a 25 pack. Cloth rags and paper rags. The paper rags are nice, but there's areas where a cloth rag is absolutely better. What are those areas? When you're working with cleaning the chain, this is better. You're cleaning off the wheels, this does a better job. So they're cheap. You get a 25 pack, you're probably gonna have them for a long time. We've got all this stuff right there merchandised for you. Like I said in the other video, I hope you see this is, sure, I wanna sell stuff, no doubt about it, right? I mean, that's what we do. But really, from rider to rider, what I wanted to do is I wanted to find the chemicals and the package to get my bikes the way I wanted them, and then just share that with you so you could get the same end result. I'm Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com.